Welcome back to Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous. Now we are basically done with the companion quest and so forth for a little while. And we should head back to camp to rest because we took... most of the damage we took was actually from that failed mobility check. But resting before we go to Leper Smile is definitely a good idea. So, let's see here. I'm going to pause the recording and then I shall return when we are ready to leave the camp. There we go. I've rested and done a couple of inventory things. And we are heading off to Leper's Smile. We'll go back for the Nameless Ruins later on. What is this?
I see blood. Blood! Burn! Slice! Behead! Yes, behead.
I have no idea what this encounter here is. Random babos in the middle of nowhere, apparently. There's a note on the ground here. Come to my camp if you want to talk. I have much to share with you. A friend. Drawn on the back of the note is a map with crossed line marking a spot. Ah, that's what this encounter is. Now I remember. It is a very important storyline thing, indeed. Yes, here we go. Danger and distress rest heavy upon the scales, their measure soaring on the perilous march to Dresden. The army moves steadily along the bank of the West Seln, scarred with canyons and ravines. Suddenly, a group of scouts returns. Anevia, the leader of the group, makes two urgent signs to the soldiers. Wait and quiet. She dashes through the ranks to the commander who awaits her report. We're in trouble, she whispers. The road ahead is split by a canyon. To get to Dresden, we'll have to go down and then up the other side. But the canyon is swarming with foul creatures. Vescavors. A real pain in the neck. They won't shy away from our soldiers' weapons, and they've already managed to gobble someone up. looked like a caravan of refugees from Kenarbus that lost its way. No one has ever reported Vescavors so far from the center of the Worldwound. Where did they come from? Anevia bites her lip. They still haven't noticed us, but that won't hold true for long. Maybe if we retreat quietly? The commander makes a sign for her to stop. That doesn't make sense. Find out what else is known about the enemy. Those nasty little critters, they can ruin your gear and drive you nuts with their buzzing, Anevia says in a rush. They got a queen, the mother of the whole swarm. She's a right horror, but if we kill her, the bulk of the swarm will scatter and will take care of the rest of them somehow. After hearing his scout's report, the commander prepares to convene a council to determine a plan of action. The commander and his companions convene a field council. The army cannot march around the obstacle, for there is no other road. Retreat is far too risky. Should the swarm notice the army and catch it out in the open, no one would survive. None utters the word trap, but fear hangs in the air. A swarm of omnivorous beasts just happens to be in the army's path. Someone has arranged this for their own nefarious ends. Rustling, grating, squeaking, humming. Everyone hears the voice of the swarm, though the sky before the army remains clear, for now. How long until it is darkened by the flying spawn of the abyss? An idea, a decision, straight and sharp like a soldier's sword, appears in their minds. The Crusader Council grows grim. One unit must act as live bait to lure the swarm out of the canyon and clear the path to the Vescavor Queen. The commander will rush the monster, killing her quickly before the swarm decimates the army. They will get but one chance. A dark question looms. Who will lead the fateful squad and be consumed as bait? In moments of extreme stress, one often says one thing while meaning quite another. These hidden words often reveal many a curious thing, and what do we see here? Erebeth nobly states, "I am an officer, best suited for the mission." But in truth she means, I cannot burden another with my responsibility. Cal sent me. Nura, the historian, emerges with an unexpected suggestion from behind the commander's back. This is just the sort of situation where ingenuity and knowledge of the enemy will be more useful than swords and armor. While she speaks, she thinks, I need to prove myself. The queen has yet to disclose her presence and watches quietly from a distance. The commander thinks that he should look into the faces of your companions. The Hell Knight Regiel steps forward. My people will fight to the last, even as the swarm tears through our armor and strips the flesh from our bones. But his motives are plain. My superiority over the Crusaders will not permit me to cower behind them. I've eaten so many bugs in my life, it's only fair to give them a chance at revenge. The mongrel Lan hides his fears in plain sight. I'm a dead man walking already. A life such as mine is worthless. And silently he begs for more. Sacrifice me, or give me a chance to prove myself. The ones who distract the swarm will need a healer. Sociel is the only one who speaks plainly. A healer might bring a few through the Vescavors alive. The rest of the council remains silent, and this silence is filled by a chorus of, there are others better suited, and the commander needs me alive. Does the commander hear these unspoken words? What will they lead him to decide? The fateful troop will be led by Sociel. The commander and his party disappear among the rocks, preparing to slip down into the canyon while the swarm is distracted by their bait. A tight-lipped Anevia shows the way. Behind them, the final preparations are being made. Sociel's eyes grow cloudy for a moment. There are few creatures as abominable for a follower of Shellin as Vescavors, devourers of flesh and destroyers of matter. This trial will not be easy. The soldiers tread fearfully down the road toward the dark edge of the canyon ahead. The rift that yawns open before them whispers, rasps, rattles in thousands upon thousands of voices. Vescavors gather up below, but the sky is open above them and the flying creatures might rise up and attack at any moment. The soldiers soon find the first body, the mangled corpse of a refugee from Canabras. A few straggling Vescavors wriggle inside the dead man's gaping chest. Tiny larvae in greenish shells, all shuffling legs and hinging jaws. They don't seem menacing at all. But then, the rasping noise stops for a moment, and a high vibrating note pierces the air with new force. A blur of blackish-green cloud rises above the canyon. The swarm has taken the bait. The time to act has come. The leader of this fateful squad shouts that they shall hold position and fight for the soldiers' lives. Standing in the middle of a formation of soldiers, Social utters a prayer to Shellin. From the outside, it would appear that the cloud of Vescavors will in a moment fall from above and destroy their forces utterly. Hundreds of spawn of the abyss gnaw on bodies and armor, destroying as they consume. But the cleric's power flows forth in waves, healing the wounds of his comrades. As if understanding who is to blame for the unexpected resistance, the spawn covers Social like a living carpet. The servant of Shellin trembles but does not move or halt his prayers. The soldiers look on with awe as though they are witnessing a holy miracle. Temporary success holds no true hope for the faithful troop. Their foe is no great beast, but a million ravenous creatures bringing with them the eternal hunger of the abyss. To fight them was to cry upon the wind. Their only hope was to rely on the commander and hope that he was preparing to slay the swarm queen. What was happening down in the canyon at that very moment? We'll go with this party. Now, the canyon down here is interesting. There are a couple of loot items here, but for each of those loot items you actually go to take out, you basically lose more soldiers and troop morale. So we will not be taking any of that loot, nor do we need any of it. Spots of light and shadow dance along the walls of the canyon. High above your head, a swarm gathers, dark as a rain cloud. There are so many Vescavors that they block out the sun. Luckily, you've escaped the attention of the swarm, which is focused upon the troops you're using as bait. For now, at least. With a tired gesture, Anevia wipes the sweat and dust from her forehead. There is anxiety in her eyes. Commander, the beast we've come for is on the other side of the main corridor. There's a lot of burrows and plenty of beasts in them, but you'd better not delve too deep. Our people won't hold out long enough for us to clear the whole area. On the other hand, I saw the bodies of some poor caravaneers down one of the side holes. They have some valuable stuff on them. The bugs will eat anything we don't grab. They can't tell the difference between flesh and steel. Wait. So they're eating all the treasure while we're standing around talking? What are we hanging around for? Come on, there's no time to lose. Did you manage to find out where these beasts came from? I'm not sure, but there are clear signs of a ritual closer to the Queen Bug's lair, and they're fresh. Maybe somebody summoned the scum especially for us. The demon Filth figured out that we're never going to let Canabras go. Too bad we don't have a magic specialist who could figure out what those runes mean. Can you tell me anything useful about the monster? I've never fought these before, so I don't know much. She's a nasty beast. She spits acid and summons her spawn from all around the area. One more thing. When I tried to get closer, I started feeling sick as a dog. I guess like a lot of demons, she knows how to get inside your head. Well, great. Huge, hungry, head-spinning, acid-spitting bugs? And I thought the Crusades were all about the pretty armor and the tasty rations, and sometimes saving beautiful maidens in white dresses from dumb demons. I'm sorry to disappoint, Lan. Let's move. Good luck. I'm right behind you, covering your back. I'll catch up when it's time to deal with the Queen. We can cast haste. And let's
So
do
many thoughts.
a
So little
fireball.
time.
We are not going to charge into that thing, we are just going to shoot at it and hope that we can kill it before it actually comes over here.
You've crossed the wrong mongrel. May I see your entrails, please?
Actually, Woodruff might be able to kill it. There we go. I think this is the right way.
I'm all ears. You won't survive me.
You can charge that thing, I think.
Let the attack commence.
Judgment.
Endure this.
I think he's using a rather outdated crossbow. Let's give... That's a regular light crossbow. Let's give him the crossbow of judgment.
The light, take you! Distract them for me.
Make every strike count.
There we go. This is not the loot items that I was talking about, by the way. Lore Nature.
Thanks, Lan. You're so awesome, Lan.
Demonic bug slime. Poisonous not only to everything alive, but also to the land itself. If we go into these side entrances, that's where we would find the other things. This, however, I think we're going to do this one. The bottom of the canyon is split by a narrow crevice, about one stride across at its widest. It's easy enough to jump over, or in places even step across. The obstacle doesn't seem a problem or even particularly notable, but as you draw closer you hear a terrible droning sound coming from the crevice. It seems to be howling as if it's alive. Look into the crevice. You stare into the darkness of the void, trying to make out where the strange sound is coming from. Not all at once, but your eyes pick out the contours of a body in the darkness. Someone small, perhaps a gnome, a halfling or a child, rolled up in a ball at the bottom of the chasm under a stone ledge. He's crouched down, his head to his knees, and is hugging his legs tightly. It appears to be one of the carabineers caught by the swarm. He's crying aloud, one continuous tone, and it strengthens as it echoes through the crevice, building into something truly haunting. Try to help him out. Not without effort, you manage to clamber down to the bottom of the crevice, tie the halfling with a rope, and pull him up. He doesn't resist, but he's little help either, dangling helplessly like a puppet. The Vescavors inhabiting his eye sockets seem to have eaten their fill, and you easily pull them out and crush them. The victim sits on the ground and continues to cry, and the sound begins attracting unwanted attention. You hear the humming of disturbed Vescavors above. A mass of them separates from the main swarm and flies toward you.
Did we step on their toes as well?
Cannot charge, sadly. Swarms are really annoying like that. On high difficulty levels, swarms are a royal PITA. The halfling you pulled from the crevice didn't move at all as you fought the onslaught of Vescavors. He is still lying on the floor crying. I'll heal you and come back for you later. Magic can heal the Caravanier's wounds, but not his mind. For now, there is nothing more you can do for him. He seems scarcely aware of your help, and his crying and shrieking continues. A moment later, you hear another scream from overhead. Leaning precariously over the ledge of the crevice above, one of your men falls to the bottom and dies upon the rocks. The other soldiers, now serving as bait, are up there desperately fighting for their lives, and yours. That would not have happened if I had not taken him out of the crevice, but I like doing that one. Queen should be right up here. Yep.
Let's shake a leg.
Let's buff a little bit before this fight.
Are we in trouble yet?
Ready for anything. The road calls me. I'll take it.
We will win this war. Don't mind me.
No mistakes.
Shall we move? We shall move.
Time's not waiting.
I will help where I can.
I crave for adventure.
I think that should be good enough. Lan, would you do the
You've
honors?
crossed the wrong mountain.
A calculated risk.
I did cast haste, good. Lucky we might be able to take her down before she can do any significant damage to us.
Time to share your treasures. No glory without risk.
She missed. Good, good, good. I always try the spell that never hits. Ah, she has spell resistance. I think we're going to take her down now, actually. Yep. Surprising how those buffs change things up. Unleashing her last shriek, the Swarm Queen slumps to the ground. Immediately, as if by magic, the distant sounds of battle begin to subside. Several small beasts sit on their mother's body, sinking their mandibles into it. The canyon drowns in the waves of scent, a sweet soporific with a hint of bite, like the crackle in the air before a storm. Ugh, I can't breathe. I need some fresh air. Get me out of this disgusting hole. Lan looks askance at the queen's carcass. The mongrels in the caves under Canabras could eat that, I guess. Anevia approaches the queen's body and grins. That's it, you filth. No more flying. It is good we got rid of her without suffering more losses. Just a little longer and we'd have been forced to bury lots of our fighters in this cursed land. Suddenly Anevia stops. Her nostrils flare and her eyes scan the floor and the walls of the canyon. She squats, pokes at some lumps of slimy substance, lifts some up to look more closely, smells them, and then cringes. You smell it too, right? A suspiciously familiar stink. Aha. Anevia rubs a ball of greenish slime in her hand. I bet my life that your gear had this nasty stench when we were entering the canyon. I saw the queen bug spraying it around to summon her spawn to her. Let's see if we can find the source of that smell among my equipment. You and Anevia search through your things and quickly find the source of the smell. A thin handkerchief. Looks like it'd been soaked in something like the Swarm Queen's slime. I'll be damned. When the queen was spraying this sweet-smelling goop around, the swarm flew to it like flies to jam. The chewed-up bodies of the caravaneers smelled like this too. I checked, Commander. I think some rat planted that handkerchief on you to ensure that the Vescavors would find you. Looks like I have enemies in Mendev and someone has decided to get rid of me. True. Nobody likes upstarts. If you knew what Irabeth's allies hissed behind her back when she was appointed head of the Eagle Watch. Anevia spits. Anyway, we need to keep our eyes open. That handkerchief could have been planted here by magic, but take it from a professional paranoiac. I think we've got a rat in our camp. In Canabras, we squashed the cultists time and time again, but they were like maggots in a dead hog. Some could have infiltrated our forces too. We have to keep our eyes open and our guard up. It's time we got back to our people. I say we destroy the queen's body. I've heard the little bugs who eat their flesh of their mother can be reborn as swarm queens themselves. That's kind of the last thing we need, right? Fine, Anevia, get rid of the beast's body. Great. Cleaning up after a fight is just what I like. We'll start here, and little by little we'll clean up the entire Worldwound. If you want to be the swarm that walks, you do have to keep the body. Anevia, Commander, what a relief, you're alive. I saw the swarm begin to thin and ran to you immediately. She pauses to catch her breath. Social wipes the sweat from his brow. My squad handled the assignment. I healed everyone I could, but my warriors have had quite a fright. It's not very pleasant to be eaten alive, then healed, then eaten and healed again. I knew I could rely on you. What happened up there cannot be described in words, but you were the one who carried the day, Cal. Luckily, our losses are not as great as we feared. Not many are even wounded. But if you'd been a moment later, I'm afraid to imagine what might have happened to us. Unfortunately, the insect's acid ruined what was left of the caravan. Of course, I sympathize with those who perished, but we could have used their gear. Yeah, what a waste. We really could do with some supplies. If only they died on the road somewhere, of thirst or after meeting some wild animals. We'd be sitting pretty right now. My duty is to lead my people to my duty is to lead my people to victory. I would not abandon my duty for the treasures of dead caravaneers. What matters is that everything's over and we won. What are we going to do now? Since you're here, please take a look around. I found some painted runes and the traces of something that seemed like a ritual. We need to figure out what this is. Ha! Easily done. Nura leans over the magic symbols painted on the stone. I'm no mage, unfortunately, but I am in the habit of thoroughly documenting all descriptions of rituals and symbols from magic books, especially demonic ones. Someone very recently opened a portal to the abyss here and summoned someone. It's not difficult to figure out who they summoned. She's lying dead right there. I can guess who carried out the ritual. Handwriting is unique, even when it comes to runes. I examined the Grey Garrison after your success, documenting everything I found for Queen Galfrey, and I'm sure that the hand that drew the rune circles was the same in both instances. It's the work of the same spellcaster. Looks like this spellcaster is afraid of us and dares not fight us openly. Of course he's afraid. Nothing he can set on us will ever be scarier than the Swarm. He's just played his last hand and lost. Well, since we've finished off the Swarm and we know someone is giving us trouble, I suggest we get out of here. I'm done with bugs. So that's that done. We have a level up to go here. However, I shall return shortly. There we go, I just wanted to check something quickly. A huge runic circle has been drawn on the rock, probably with blood. We are going down there, but... Hunter's Assurance. Composite shortbow. Nice. Before we're going down there, let's just go and loot the rest of the canyon. There's probably going to be some Vescavors around still. Acid has ruined the Caravanier's gear.
From me.
Something?
Judging by the marks that his nails left in the soft sandstone, this man was still alive when the swarm began to eat him. Ugh. We also need to level up before we go down into the lower part. The remains of the caravan camp. The Vescavors have chewed up not only the bodies, but also the tent and the bundles of goods. Maybe the Vescavors actually did disappear. That might have been a bug in the previous version, because there were still Vescavors around after the queen had been killed. Okay, let's head on over here and do the level 7 level up. We're making good progress, I'd say. Let's start with Cal. We are going to continue on our path as an oracle, of course, all the way to level 20. So, Knowledge Arcana, Knowledge World, Lore Religion and Persuasion. I also think I was wondering if I should put some points into Perception. But no, let's continue with Nature, actually. It would be more useful to have used Magic Device, though. As for our level 7 feat, that is going to be Outlank. And we are getting closer to being able to do melee instead of using that silly crossbow. I think that we need to take weapon mastery here. We are going to take weapon focus for scimitar. As for our level 1 spell, that is not really that relevant. I guess we can take remove fear. Level 2 spell. We need to take 8. Level 3 spell. We can either take Archon's Aura or we can take Animate Dead. Animate Dead is a very, very useful spell, I have to admit. Even for playing a good character. It kind of gives distraction. So I am tempted. I'll take Arcanist Aura for now. Sila. Let's see here. That's going to be a simple level up. Mobility, Knowledge, World, and Perception. And we'll give her Outlank. No camera. Stay where you are. Walgif. We need to scroll up to the Dissectionist. Take the regular skills for him, and the feat will, surprise, surprise, be Outlank. His medical discovery, that should be Feral Mutagen. So whenever he imbibes a mutagen, he gains 2 claw attacks and a bite attacks, which are primary attacks made using the alchemist's full base attack bonus. So that is going to be in addition to his attacks, and I think the sneak attacks can also apply to this, so it's quite powerful. His spell should be Animal Aspect. And after him, we have Wally, who will, at level 7, continue to be Arcanist. Level 7 feat should be improved initiative, yes, definitely. His exploit on level 7 should be Arcane Barrier. Can expend 1 point from her, interesting, Arcane Reservoir to create a barrier of magic that protects her from harm. So gains a number of temporary hit points equal to the Arcanist level plus the Charisma modifier, and lasts for 1 minute per Arcanist level or until all the temporary hit points have been lost. Level 3 spells should be that is not a level 3 spell, it's a level 2 spell. I've done a tiny mistake on my level here. We should definitely take Heroism, we already have. The nice thing with the Arcanist is that he can scribe the scrolls that we find, so that should be fine. Are there any buffs that we particularly need here? I don't think so. We'll take Displacement. Just looking at when I get rate for Animal Aspect. Well, I suppose we could take that now, but I am tempted to take a damage spell, so I'll take Firebolt. Next up is Lan. Divine Hound Hunter. Level 7 feat for land should be weapon focus in Longbow. I know that is a little bit late to take it, but yeah. Outlank, which will apply to both him and his animal companion. As for the levels 2 spell, we could pick anything here. Consecutive hits. That's not really that useful, I mean. I think we'll go with melee and stride. And then finally in our group currently we have Peps. Which will take spell specialization as the feat now. And currently we'll go with Fireball. Bloodline feat selection, we will take improved initiative. Spell specialization, I already picked Fireball, but okay. Level 1 spell, Burning Hands. Not really that useful, but never know. Level 2 spell, we'll take Burning Arc. And level 3 spell, we will take Haste, because it's always useful to have that available on more than one character. And then we have the Animal Companions as the last thing. Means I also have 2 here. Let's do Arakel first. Level 7 should be, yeah, Outlank. As for the other animal companions, it's also Outlank, with the exception of Lance, who would be Quadrotus. Instead, Quadrotus will get light body, which means that he can wear armor. Armor proficiency, light body. But Jonathan will get the same feat as more or less everyone else, Outlank. And that was the leveling up for now. We have to level up the guys in camp as well. Let's go down. $27 for Wally. Now he's suddenly first. Okay.
Let's try this way.
I think he got lucky with his roll there as well. Yeah, 19 plus 8. Might be able to charge, yes. And that was that. Bloodstained Letter. Arkle recently raided the Tower of Estrod. So, yeah. Imagine finding them here. There's 2 areas that we need to take down here. Now, since the previous episode was very long, I think I'm going to cut this one short, because if I am to complete the entirety of Leper's Smile, both of these two paths, it is going to take at least 45 more minutes, which means we'll end up at 1 hour 30 minutes on 2 episodes consecutively, which I don't think that is desirable. So I think we will wrap up here and make this a shorter episode. Not by that much, but 15 minutes on average shorter. And we'll finish up Leper's Smile in the next episode. So, if you have any questions and or comments, then please do feel free to leave those in the comment section below. And I hope that you enjoyed the episode, and that I'll see you all in the next one.